Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hex Foodies. I believe we're live. Are we live? We are live. Okay. I'm going to go over the Telegram chat. I have been experiencing a new moon situation. So I've had all sorts of energies where I just want to be a recluse. I'm a Cancer birthday. That's my birthday. So I get a little emotional. Things happen in my life. Maybe I eat the wrong food. I don't know. I'll explain it more as I have information. I just went to a coffee shop to get some cold brew coffee with oat milk. And I saw a university professor there, and we didn't talk to each other. We haven't talked to each other for a while. But he's a guy who teaches down at the liberal arts college right down the street from me over here. And I don't like that school. I wish they did things differently. But I really like this guy. And the reason why is because when I was setting up community gardens with the church that I grew up within here in my town, I came back to my town in 2012 and started setting up community gardens with the church I grew up with. Couldn't have done it without them, of course, or I need to state that. They had already established a panel to do this sort of thing, and I just had good timing. And then I worked with these people for a while, and then somebody inside the church said, "Hey, there's a there's a worldwide movement to figure out how we can defeat climate change." And I accepted to be on this panel. They called it the Interfaith Eco Network, and I knew that in poly-sci books from my friend at Rice University, I knew that inside those poly-sci books it talked about manipulating people and economies based on the idea of climate change that was global warming at first, right? And then they changed the name. So I told the person who is the lead in this church group panel, like, hey, why don't you go get someone from, like, if you're wanting to do events and meetups and learns, why don't you go down to the university and ask this certain professor, because this professor is in the area of environmental sciences. She did that. She went and got that guy to come do a presentation. And he was in this presentation. It was very good. He in the sanctuary, he set up as if it was his classroom, and he was going through the slides and everything. And then there at the end, he was like, and so with all this information, we can now say that, or we see that there is no complete this way or that on climate change. And somebody in the audience raised their hand and said, like, what? We're all here meeting because we think that, climate change is happening. And he's like, actually, the data shows that this stuff fluctuates. And it was just a really interesting moment where everybody's just stunned and baffled. Like, wait a minute, we've got our pitchforks here. Hexrayvision, howdy, how are you? I don't know.
Hey kids, how are you doing? I just got out of the gym representing Pulse and Hex.
Whoa, that is a sweet shirt. That is sweet.
Yeah, thank you very much. I went down the rabbit hole of climate change a while back and started watching the Suspicious Observer. Have you followed him on YouTube?
No.
Oh, he has these great videos that go over tracking the sun and the sun's patterns and the sun's you know, cycles and the
Yeah.
solar flares and directly correlating them not just to the temperature on Earth, but to other things like earthquakes and natural disasters that he believes are directly correlated with the sun's activity, not so much human beings' activity. So I find that a really compelling argument myself when I go, hear people screaming about, climate change and how we have to, take away everyone's rights to fix that.
Yeah,
So
I feel like the world that we live in is all based on our perception. It's like if a million of us got together and visualized something, I think that it would come true. As weird as that sounds.
that's a little woo woo,
It
just
is,
a
yeah,
little.
totally. I didn't really know how to lay it out there.
Yeah, no kidding. So hey, when's the workshop coming to Houston? It's not coming till pretty close to March, isn't it? Like February?
Um, I think it's February. Uh, I think it's late January in Houston and then early February in Austin. So it's going to go from Houston up to Dallas, back down to Austin, San Antonio, and then out El Paso way. So I've got it marked down somewhere, but I don't have everything pulled up right now.
So you guys have 4 meetups in the country of Texas?
Yes.
You
Okay.
have you have more meetups than like most of the eastern half of like the East Coast, right? You guys have
It's
as many meetups as the whole East Coast.
it's like it's tied. So New Orleans is the 14th of January, Houston's
Okay.
the 21st, Dallas 28th, Austin the 4th of February, San Antonio the 11th of February, and then out to Phoenix.
Wow. Wow, so that'll be blast. How many of those do you are you planning on attending?
I want to hit all of them in Texas at least. And then I started out with New Orleans because I'm not afraid of driving out that way.
How far is the drive to New Orleans from your area?
um, it's probably just 6, but I'm not sure. I never have driven that, but I knew a lot of people in Houston would go back and forth to like Baton Rouge. So gosh, I was just thinking Baton Rouge, and then you got to go south after that, another I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours, because New Orleans is way down there in the Gulf. It's just like it's just sitting there, all just muggy.
I'd love to come down there that time of year. It's going to get really frosty and cold up here in Utah where we're at pretty soon. I'm surprised we're not buried in snow already, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
So when do y'all usually get snowfall? I mean, you've already
w-
gotten the first bit, right?
we usually get a good storm around Halloween, a good
Mm.
snowstorm right around Halloween. We did get about like 2 or 3 feet of just really wet, nasty stuff hit us once, but after that, it's kind of gone to like fall part two here, where it's pretty mild right now.
Do y'all stay pretty crisp on the snowflakes, or does it get kind of like wet?
It it's wet when it snows. It's wet, but the rest of the time it dries up really fast. It's really really arid here,
Okay.
really really dry. Our humidity here is usually in the teens, if anything, unless it's raining or snowing. It's very very dry here. So
Cool. Our winters are typically just cold and wet, just drizzly, and then that's why we have like ice storms. And then people get out in their cars and get on overpasses and slide right back down them. Don't,
that almost sounds fun but terrifying at the same time.
it's so scary, because like Yeah, you just don't know what roads to go on, and then you definitely just don't want to be in one of those big spaghetti bowl like intersection things. I've it it's a reporter's dream to go out there and be like, people are attempting it, and then they just see it just fall backwards, and they're just waiting for the car to come right back down. They know it's gonna happen. They're just like, oh yeah, I guess that's about $2,000 worth of damage that this person's about to do. I don't
Funny.
know.
Hey,
Every year.
now down there in Texas, are there any intentional communities that you have on your bucket list or your wish list to go visit?
Yes. Yeah, there are tons of people who are sprouting up little tiny communities. Um, they they're not, it's a weird thing. They don't really like advertise it because community's hard to come by. So I know that Hexdragon is doing some things, and I believe that a lot of people are like him, where it's like, well, we have to vet you quite well before we allow you to enter, and um, we need to vet you a little bit before we even let you know where it is we're located. But I'm seeing a lot of communications amongst people trying to feel out intentional communities. Yeah, definitely. There's plenty around here. There's plenty of people. That, I guess what it takes, right, is that idea. There's plenty of people with that idea.
Oh, how far away from you is Hex Dragon's area?
Uh, 25 minutes.
Okay, so if I were to fly down, if I jumped in an airplane in Vegas, where would I fly to come down and hang out with you and Hex Dragon?
Austin Airport.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, because maybe that'll be our next Hex Foodies field trip out there, and
Cool.
depending on how much he's willing to share, we can keep as much of it, unpublished as he wants. But I think that would be great because he's put a lot of thought into the community and the vetting aspect, and
Yeah.
so I would really like to look at that portion of things and see whatever they've got going on, how self-sufficient are they, how much how's their network, because I know he talks more about what do you have access to and control of, not so much what do you have ownership of, because a lot of intentional communities are like, well, we own 40 acres and we have this many livestock or this crop growing on here and this is what we own and control. I totally understand that aspect, but his sounds like it's a lot more efficient. Is who can you make friends with? Who can you do all that stuff with? Who can you network with to increase your reach?
Yeah, he's saying that your wealth is based on what you have access to. Um, and he's talking about land trusts, and I would love to get him and my godfather on the stream together and talk about land trusts, because my godfather is a property lawyer, and I would just like to see it like broken down in commoners terms instead of always being behind the scenes. Whoops. I think he had fat fingers. Hexrayvision has just exited the stream. Um, let's see. We'll go oop, he's back.
I
Yeah.
hit the wrong button. I have no idea what the sound like is inside my car because I'm just using the speaker. And when I was on the birthday stream, my sound was not awesome, and I'm trying to make sure there's no echo. So if you got anyone in the chat, I was trying to check the show's chat, but I ended up just clicking off of here.
Hey, so the birthday stream. You've been releasing a lot of streams lately. I've been seeing your live Zoom calls, right? So that people can relate to the onboarding aspect. It's almost like it's an elementary hex radio app, right? Where like people are talking about subjects, but it's brought down to the commoners level. Is that am I allowed to
Yeah,
say
my
that?
my Monday Zooms are for brand new people, and then a lot of the people that I've onboarded that can't always make it, to a place in person. So I basically, did that to reach as many new people as I could and answer as many beginner questions. And then I take that opportunity to the people that have been following me here locally, where they can say what's going on with Pulsechain, what's going on with this, what do I have to do to get my wallet ready for X, Y, or Z, and I'm able to give them as much information. And there's the one thing that I like the best about the David Feder and Rags to Riches one that I just recently did was David is one of the people that are smart enough to say I don't know. There's a lot of people that you talk to and you say, well, what about this? And if they don't know an answer, they'll make one up so that they, save face or try to help their credibility. And David Feder's smart enough to say, I don't know, or that's not determined, or we don't know yet. And that's beautiful because everyone's so hungry for information they'll accept anything. So I love the fact that not only is David a wealth of knowledge when it comes to what the code is doing and what the code means, but he's also, you know, honest enough to be like, hey, if I don't know something, I'm just going to tell you I don't know it. And I appreciate those things a lot about David Feder. So yeah, if you
Awesome.
guys haven't checked out his channel, David Feder on YouTube, he's got a lot of tech chat and stuff. But he really had a blast streaming with us because he had someone to bounce ideas off of and have some conversation. And so I think we're going to make that a regular thing on Sundays. So Sundays we'll do like the tech talk and try to answer questions and do like a little weekly update. And then Monday nights, like I said, I do the live Zoom, and usually there's only a few people that can actually show up that are on the Zoom, and they ask great questions that, I don't even think are in the people's minds that are brand new. So that's awesome. And then Thursdays at the local library, I just book out one of their conference rooms and tell everyone in my hometown or anyone who's willing to drive here, bring your laptop and we'll walk through this step by step, click by click, because there's such a need for that support to the new person, I believe.
That's awesome. Do you think that people in other towns would be able to go to their library, set up a little sign, and bring their computer and watch your stuff live and talk about your stuff there in the setting of their own hometown?
Definitely.
Mm.
Definitely. They could definitely do that. They could set it up. They could even do like a Monday night, you know, Zoom off of one of their laptops into my Zoom if they wanted to. Or, there's a lot of Hexicans, yourself included, that understand the onboarding process from beginning to end. You have that amazing QR uh, code, right? That opens up to a PDF and links.
Yeah.
And everyone's trying to come up with something that's easy enough to use that it can be, anyone can click on that and be led into, getting their hex and staking it. So
So,
that's kind of everyone's trying to get a template going.
so to let people have a little bit of background, before Vegas, I got some magnets that were hexagons, and I put them on the outside of my truck, and they had QR codes on them. And the QR codes were generated by a QR website. I think it's called QR Monkey, where you can type in a URL address and it'll provide you a QR graphic. And so that QR code of mine went to a PDF that I had created. And it was like a 10-page PDF walking people through the exact way that I got into Hex, just about showing the time period that I got into Hex. And just the steps all the way down to being staked out. If it was that you wanted to become a 5555 Hexican, you could totally do it with just having this PDF. However, a lot of people who don't have the initiative, who don't have the audacity, they quit early, and then they would like come back to me a few months later and ask, how have things been going? And it's just like, well, my life is really freed up. And they're like, oh, really? Because of that thing you were in, because of Hex? I'm like, yeah. Did you not follow through with everything? So yeah, so it still takes this initiative on their side in order to do the QR thing. And then also, I'm also, that was a very elementary thing where, like, like imagine you trying to make a book and publish it in the smallest amount of time so that it gets into people's hands, but yet you know that you could make it better. You know that you could take the snags off of it. Anyway, that's my experience that I wanted to share. Ancient Earthways says that in Hexray's talk with David Feder and Brandon, um, it was a really good job. And at timestamp 42, they chatted about building a city. That sounds awesome. I think I might have heard like the idea come forward, and then I didn't watch enough of it into minute 42 to see that. What did you do? You remember a portion of that, Hexray?
I don't remember the portion about talking about a city with David Feder and Rags to Riches, but we do often talk about buying our own island, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
in my
totally.
interview with Crypto Heartbeat, he mentioned we're in the middle of building a digital island right now. I mean, I think it was Estonia that started offering digital passports and citizenship.
Okay.
And so, like, at this point, things are so available electronically and digitally that we are basically the Hexican community is a digital island of people that are all trying to build and create and help other people right now. So we have the digital island, and a lot of people have been heading down to Puerto Rico for its tax advantages. But the truth is, I think we're going to see Hexican this next year pick up a bunch of physical location, you know,
Hmm.
and that'll be an interesting place. Even if you had a timeshare there, or a condo, or a place where you put up a tent or brought an RV to go and live
Hmm.
at this city part of the year. I think that would be awesome. That'd be so much fun. But I think that this next year there'll be plenty of people with the means to do so, to actually purchase the land or the island or the territory.
Don't you think that it would kind of look like a bunch of nodes, maybe, where there's a bunch of small, souped out places that had everything you needed, and you could come and go, and we live a nomadic lifestyle.
I think so, and I think there's also a lot of entrepreneurial Hexicans out there that run their own businesses and are involved in real estate and investments. And I think you'd have basically like a vacation rental um, industry at the same places. Hey, come see how the Hexicans live. Come check out our what you can do once you have time and money.
Yeah. Ancient Earthways also says that we should get together as permaculture people and create a place with solar, lots of solar, so that it could be the source for David to run his validator. Yeah, that sounds really good.
That is really good. And like you said, David was the only person that's out there campaigning saying, "Hey, I'm going to run a super node, and not only am I going to run a super node or a validating node, sorry, a validating node, I'm going to do it with my own equipment. I'm not going to trust third parties like Amazon and these other online services for the cloud." He says, "I'm going to have all the hardware where I can see it and touch it." So that sounds like a really good deal to me. If you're going to, back a validator, back someone that's really trying to be sovereign and responsible.
Yeah, I haven't made any official decisions. Well, maybe I have. Feder gets some of my coins, but I don't know how much. That
Yeah,
guy has definitely
it'll be
won some of my
it'll be
coins.
interesting to see what the validator, uh, what's it called, when you delegate your stakes, when you delegate your pulse to a validator. It'll be interesting to see what the actual APY is on that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And if you don't delegate them, then they just sit there, right? You're not earning any interest on it or any inflation. Um, for it to work for you,
Yep.
you need to delegate
Yeah,
it, right?
it's like your
Think you went through mountains. You're in a tunnel. He's cutting out. This will give me an opportunity to bring up the Telegram chat, or find the right place in the Telegram chat to start talking about it.
Sorry,
You went through a tunnel.
when we were doing EOS, it would take like a 72 lockup period for you to go and be able to unlock and sell your EOS. So I imagine it's going to be or
You're choppy. You
there you
you
go. I
went.
don't know, this Wi-Fi is probably breaking in and out on you, but I'm just pulling in. I'm pulling in the trash cans from the street, and then I'll be
Yeah.
able to talk some more. So just give me a second.
Okay. All right. He will be back. Okay, so let's bring up a share screen, Telegram chat. All right. What are you able to see of that? Okay. And if anybody would like to come into this live stream, go to the Hex Foodies Telegram chat on, yeah, Telegram. There's a link inside of there. That's the StreamYard link. Click that and I will add you ASAP. All right, so we got some new members. Ooh, bitfinesse is here. What does he have to say? Which one of us is going to start a date farm out in the desert? Ooh, I'll do it. It's gonna be a while. I saw that you were over in like the West Coast, and then all of a sudden the next thing I saw was Missouri. It was like, whoa, you sure did track back quickly. So I hope you're doing well, bitfinesse. And I thank you for being here. So back over there at the what's yummy, says Jay Everything. Well, Jay Everything, that's what's yummy. How's it going, man? Glad to have you here. So the Telegram chat, I'm gonna go over it a little bit. It's Hex Foodies Telegram. We got some new members. Happy birthday to Hex. Happy birthday to Hex. Let's see. I have been making advertisements that are meant to be on the outside of my truck. I want to be able to pass these things on from one person to another as I see them on the road. I think that would be cool. I think it would be cool to add a magnet to somebody's car and them not get mad about it. So I'm thinking like instead of a sticker on something, I could put a magnet on something, and you could put it on like um, goalposts. You could put it on street signs. You could put it all over the place. Maybe street lights. But this one right here that's on the screen, I had the idea of telling people that like the price per minute of you paying attention to hex is way up there, and all you need to do is start getting the jargon in your head, or start to like feel out the space through the hex radio app on YouTube, because what that is, everybody knows this, but I'm going to explain it for the newbies. The Hex Radio app is the voice chat of Pulsechain on Telegram, recorded and put onto YouTube and streamed live as well. So if it is that you don't want to interact with the Telegram, you can be watching it on YouTube. And then if it is that you need to go and really like speak up and set something straight, then you can go into Telegram. But whatever the case, I think that that's a great tool. Why? Because I'm a person who's listened to a lot of podcasts in my day while I'm working on other things, and um, to get all the jargon is invaluable. To be that third person or fifth person or something, and to witness the conversation is invaluable. So I'm believing that this sort of advertisement, a very, very small thing that's like a flyer, but yet put on a magnet, could be a great onboarding tool, and allow people to learn at their own pace. Don't pressure them. Like cryptocurrencies, putting money into digital format is a huge step to go through. I remember like trying to figure stuff out, and I, I've, I feel their pain, I guess. What's up, Red Squirrel? Evening all, he says. Bitfinesse says, I'm everywhere and nowhere. Great stream, bro. Thanks, man. We're here every Tuesday at noon Central, every Tuesday. And everyone is welcome to get on this. And earlier, I was putting the link to join the live stream. Earlier, I was putting that into YouTube and maybe even Twitter. I'm not going to do that anymore. I think that I kind of like open up my computer whenever it is that I just freely put the link just anywhere. So going over the chat more, let's see. If anybody wants to help me out with these designs, or wants to sponsor what it is that I'm doing and get these ideas out to more Hexicans, let's go. Let's have at it. I'm ready to work for the community. So Jay-Z was talking about Andrew Mollison's videos, how it's really awesome that you can see like topography and land pond construction, and then like really making it to where we're hex foodies, so we're talking about permaculture now, where every drop of rain has a planned downhill destination. Then Benjamin Mutton was offering the idea of Sepp Holzer's stuff and Zach Weiss's stuff. And I really like Zach Weiss. This is Zach Weiss at Paul Wheaton's permaculture place. And he did a presentation that is top notch. And this is the link to it right here on YouTube, done by Zach Weiss. And it talks about water on your property, and then water, like how we view it within our community. Cities, all different types of geographical landscapes. He gives you a good, I love this video. I cannot say it enough. He gives you a good perspective, like a full round perspective, in case it was that you only understood one facet of water falling on your property, and how the geography around your city also plays into it. So we've got some new members. One of the tribes down in New Zealand is wanting to, well, first of all, it's not New Zealand to the native tribes there. And they're wanting to host a meetup down there in New Zealand, and that's going to be in the middle of January. And if you'd like to get with me to make a flyer or make one yourself and post it here, please do. I don't know how many of us will be ready to travel there in mid-January. That seems really close to now, and especially with the fluctuation of lockdowns and stuff. But that is a very awesome creation and invite, and I really appreciate it. And I think it's awesome that it's being shared in this group. So we have 2 meetups that this group is zeroing down on. There's that meetup in New Zealand in mid-January, and then the meetup at the end of May in Navajo Nation, and that's going to be in the northeastern corner of Arizona. Yeah, northeastern corner of Arizona. I said that wrong the other day, and I'm glad I got it right now. And so this is a video of On the Bay that the guys in New Zealand have done, where they're talking about they're singing about their relationship with the Bay and how being involved in the ecosystem and knowing your place in the ecosystem, it takes care of you. Hexrayvision is still out of pocket. I appreciate him coming out today. Ooh, I hear him. Hey.
Hey, I actually changed my clothes because I had enough time to do so.
I figured you were going inside, going to your studio.
Yeah, I'm headed here. I'm actually doing some onboarding here in a little bit, so I'm going to have to go. But
Okay.
I just wanted to stop in since I had the chance working out this morning to join you. And
I
yeah,
appreciate it, man.
catch up on all the foodies stuff.
And good on you for working out and, you know, getting the exercise in your body. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm basically trying to repair all the damage from driving a truck for 10 years. You know, I've got my body's 40 years old, but my back is like, you know, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to nurse it back into 40-year-old shape.
So tell me, what is the worst situation that you're fighting? Like, sort of like your tendons have built up in certain areas and you need to
Yeah,
let them free or something?
well, you know, anyone that works in an office or sits for a long time, basically you're overdeveloping some of the muscles in your hips that, you know,
Mhm.
stabilize you as you sit up. And the opposite muscles, like the ones in your on the front, like in your hip flexors and the outside of your glutes. Excuse me. Yeah, so you're working really your hips and your outside of your glutes. You're trying to balance those muscles because you know your lower back and the inside of your thighs are doing all the work and getting really overdeveloped. And so that's where everyone gets, you know, the lower back pain, the sciatica, all the stuff going down their legs. It just it's because your body's just not balanced. The muscles aren't balanced, basically. So that's what I've been doing is just mostly all the exercises that really hurt the outside of your hips, your glutes. You know, you're working your glutes out a lot, and then also the small muscles in between your shoulder blades, because a lot of us hunch over when we're working on a computer, we hunch over when we're on our phone, or when we're watching TV. You know, our posture's not that great, and so you're overdeveloping your chest and underdeveloping the muscles in between your shoulder blades. So a lot of that to try to, like, you know, pull your shoulders back and down, and it makes a huge difference. Just these little, and there's no weight to them. Usually it's a rubber band at best, because
Mhm.
these muscles have been dormant for so long in your body from sitting down and working at an office or driving, that you really have to treat them like, you know, like they're brand new muscles. You got to be really gentle with them so you don't pull them.
Okay. That rubber band you say, that's the, yeah, I've seen those around.
Yeah, really thin rubber band, not even thick bands. These are like really if you looked at it, it would look kind of comical to see a grown man be pulling on this rubber band, but
Yeah.
it really helps a lot with the lower back pain stuff. So if you guys are hurting from sitting down all week or your job, then yeah, that's what you want to do is you want to find those exercises that work the opposite muscle of what you're using all day.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in the position where they need to work that out. So I appreciate that info.
Yeah, not to turn this into a little physical training show, but
That's what
that's
this
what I've been
is.
doing.
Hex Foodies.
Excellent.
Everything body health.
Yes, 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 and eating. I've actually been putting spinach in my smoothies in the morning, so that's a way to like trick myself into eating something healthy during the day.
Bitfinesse says that he also does the bands.
Yeah. Hey, shout out. I don't know if Bitfinesse knows this, but he's a hero of mine. He and I were both trucking. I was still in a truck watching his live streams and watching him jump on Discord Syndicate, and
On Discourse, yeah.
I can really relate to his fire and his situation, and I know what it's like to drive those tankers. They're a different kind of beast because you're moving liquid, and the liquid doesn't want to go where you want to go all the time. So my hat's off to Bitfinesse, who's stuck on the grind. I'm sure. I'm not sure. I assume that he's got enough money to retire, and he's still out there, grinding and building up his castle. And I respect the hell out of that.
We all think that, Bitfinesse. We all think that you're so wealthy.
Well, and here's it when he's been posting those Pulsechain and hex stickers at the pumps that someone magically put there. Uh, that brings a smile on my face every day because I can only imagine if I was a truck driver and I saw that sticker, I'd be Googling whatever it was just out of curiosity. So that's an awesome way to spread the message of Hex and Pulse. So he's my hero. I'm a
Yeah,
big
man.
fan of Bitfinesse.
Hats off to you, Bitfinesse.
It's off to Bitfinesse. So, all right, well, I'm gonna duck and thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm gonna bounce and get ready for these people I'm helping out here in a little bit. But yeah, I'll chat with you soon, and I'll be watching. So, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for hopping on. All right. One of our awesome community members. So there at the end, Bitfinesse is like, "You're my hero." New coiners, yeah. So he's going after new coiners. That is awesome. He's he's having it to where like people can come and meet him, and he lives in a smaller community, so he can be one-to-one with these folks. It's a really cool situation. Everybody's situation is different, and he's fulfilling his. That's so cool. Back to the chat. This is, I guess, one of the bungalows. They're on the tribe land. And once again, we're talking about the meetup being from January 10th to 14th, somewhere in there, calling it the Bay. And Bruno wanted to offer lowimpact.org is a good website for whatever sort of information you want to gather about the different subjects that you would have towards homesteading or maybe do-it-yourselfing. I actually have this tab open on my computer. I had it open prior to this being posted here, so I'm on the same mindset. I've got a bunch of open tabs lately, and I need to deal with that. I need to clean my house. I need to clean my kitchen. I need to clean the outside. I need to clean the commercial space, and I really got some cleaning I need to do. But to fill you guys in on what's been happening in my life is my girlfriend just moved to Mexico yesterday, and it's kind of like messing with me a little bit. So there's that, and the full moon, and just who I am with my projects right now. Like every Hexican is working on themselves, especially all the Hexicans and hex foodies. They're gradually stepping up and working on themselves. So like right now, I've just got organized piles of stuff everywhere. Nothing is a finished product right now, but Hex is a finished product. Buy your Hex, it's on sale. It's so awesome having the ups and downs of Hex, because it reminds me of like waves hitting a harsh coast and just up against the rocks. And as long as we get those rocks wet, then we'll have recognition later on in the future. Because a lot of people come in, get discouraged whenever the price doesn't go up immediately, but they've been exposed. And whenever it is that they start to understand a time perspective of the whole crypto market, then they'll come back and have respect. And that's why we want everybody to just hop in, do a small 5-5-5-5 stake, and sit back and watch your portfolio on the Staker app, and adventure in your mind what you will, because it's different to everyone. Great analogy, says bitfinesse. Thank you very much. Yeah, waves hitting the harsh coast, and those rocks getting wet, and there we have brand recognition for the next round, because everything's a come and go. Virality, be damned. Everything's a come and go. Let's see. So Finbear, he likes to talk about climate change. I started out talking about climate change, but typically I don't try to go there. But he keeps posting these cool videos, and they're great perspectives, and I really appreciate it. And then, of course, to follow up, he has what is it called? Resistance is fertile. I love these little things that he adds here. So the world's finest comics, we've got Robin, Batman, and Superman having a victory garden. My brother-in-law calls all gardens victory gardens. He's stuck in the mindset of World War II. He's an ex-Marine, or a graduated Marine. Yeah, so come on out to the Hex Foodies Telegram chat. So something, if it is that you haven't on Telegram joined any local freedom groups, I highly advise you search like your county, your town, maybe even your state. See if these groups exist out there on Telegram. I was made aware of 3 or 4 of them, and I've revisited the one that is just my county group, because I figure that everything that's more broad than that will eventually filter into the county group. Somebody will mention it. It's a great way to be informed. It's a great way to recognize that there are other people just like you. Build bonds locally. And so what I've been doing is I've been catching up. Like I said, I've got neat little piles everywhere. I've been catching up on my my local county's freedom group, and I think they're setting up a meeting on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that, face to face. Whenever it is that I have other people on here, I like to go into like notes that I had, but whenever it is that I'm just alone, then I don't have the spontaneous spontaneity in the conversation from bringing a new subject in. Oh, I also don't have my my skull ring on today. Shame on me. So for these last seconds of this stream, I'll wear the hat and I'll say good day. Thank you very much. Come next Tuesday at noon Central, US. This is Hex Foodies. This is a crypto takeover. Thank you so much for coming out today. Thanks for participating in the chat, and we'll see you soon. Stay strong, Hexicans.